Welcome back to Drive Nation. Today, we've got something special, a revival, a resurrection, the 2025 Moskvich 412. A modern reimagining of a Soviet classic. In this video, we'll take you through the exterior, interior, performance, and wrap it up with our verdict. Let's dive in. Cut to host walking toward the car. Before we go further, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and drop a comment. What's your take on retro modern resto mods? Let's get into it. Exterior. From the first glance, the 2025 Moskvich 412 pays homage to its heritage, but with contemporary styling cues. The iconic blocky silhouette is retained, yet the lines are cleaner, more aerodynamic. Up front, you get a modern grille with LED matrix accents flanking a stylized M badge. The headlights are slim, rectangular LED units, echoing the original's rectangular headlamp era post-1969 redesign. The hood carries subtle creases to break up the mass and add visual interest. On the side, you'll notice flared wheel arches, flush door handles, and a more aggressive stance. The rear retains a bit of vintage flair, horizontal taillight bars with slim LED strips, integrated rear diffuser, and a subtle roof spoiler. Wheels are likely in the 18 to 20-inch range, in modern alloy designs with a retro touch, e.g. turbine style or cross-spoke. The exterior job is a careful balance. You feel the nostalgia, but know it's a 21st century machine. Attention to detail is key. Folding mirrors with turn signals, a panoramic glass roof optional, and subtle 412 badging on the C-pillar bring personality. The paint options might include heritage shades, deep greens, creams, burgundies plus bold modern ones, metallic silver, blue, matte black. Interior. Opening the door, you step into a space that combines classic simplicity with modern tech. The dashboard layout is clean and horizontal in orientation, with a central touchscreen infotainment system. Below that, you have physical toggle switches or rotary dials for climate control, so you don't lose tactile feedback. Gauge cluster might be a hybrid, analog dials, speedometer, tachometer with a small digital display for trip vehicle info. Steering wheel is likely a 3 or 4 spoke design, flat-bottomed perhaps, with integrated controls for audio, cruise control, and voice. Seats are deeply bolstered yet comfortable, combining vintage stitching cues like diamond quilt or piping with modern materials, leather, Alcantara, vegan leather. Rear seat space would aim to be practical, enough for 2 adults, possibly a middle seat for short trips. Materials are upgraded. Soft touch surfaces, ambient lighting strips, metal or wood trim elements to evoke that vintage feel. Also likely features: wireless charging pad, multiple USB-C ports, ambient cabin lighting, an advanced sound system, and decent insulation for NVH noise, vibration, harshness improvements over the old original. If there's a panoramic roof, you'll get an open feel. Comfort features like heated, ventilated seats, dual-zone climate, and even a heads-up display HUD might be in higher trims. The aim is to feel vintage yet modern. You see the 412 heritage, but you don't feel like you're in a museum car. Everything is usable, intuitive, and tech-forward. Performance powertrain. Now, this is where the 2025 version has to shine. The original Moskvich 412 1967-1975 used a 1,478cc inline-4 engine producing about 75 horsepower and 108 Nm of torque, with a 4-speed manual and rear-wheel drive. But for a modern revival, we assume bold upgrades. Speculative illustrative numbers for 2025 model. Let's say a 2.0L turbocharged inline-4 engine, producing around 250 horsepower and 320 Nm torque, or even more in performance trims. Note: one rumor video claims a 2.0L turbo with those numbers. Transmission: 6-speed manual, or available 8-speed dual-clutch automatic DCT. Drivetrain: rear-wheel drive to preserve the character, perhaps with an optional limited slip differential. Suspension: independent front and rear, double wishbone or multi-link with adaptive dampers. Brakes: ventilated disc brakes all around, with ABS, electronic stability control (ESC), and perhaps torque vectoring. Performance estimates: 0 to 100 km/h in approximately 6.0 seconds, top speed in the ballpark of 230 to 250 km/h depending on gearing. Fuel efficiency: For a turbo 2.0 engine, maybe 8 to 10L, 100 km real-world combined, aided by cylinder deactivation or mild hybrid assist if included. On the road, expect sharp steering feedback, a fun-to-drive chassis, and engaging dynamics if tuned well. The challenge is preserving character without overcompensating into harshness. Under the hood, you may find modern engine bay layout with structural bracing, possibly carbon fiber or aluminum elements, and a neat integration of cooling and turbo intercooler plumbing. Don't forget, the heavier weight of modern safety gear, infotainment, etc., has to be accounted for, so engineers would aim for a balance of rigidity, weight savings, and dynamics. Driving impressions. Host on cam, in the car, driving shots. Alright, so how does it actually feel? Let me take you through a drive loop. In city driving, the car should be smooth and composed, with good throttle responsiveness and manageable steering. Turbo lag, if tuned properly, will be minimal thanks to modern engine tech. On twisty roads, you expect a balanced rear drive feel, tight body control, and decent cornering grip. Adaptive dampers or sport mode would sharpen up the chassis. Highway open road. The 412 should cruise confidently, with stable high-speed manners, wind and tire noise suppressed, and enough power in reserve for overtakes. Braking. Strong bite, good pedal feel, and confidence from modern ABS ESC systems. If Drive Nation ever gets to test this car live, we'd time the 0 to 100, test braking from 100 to 0, lateral G, and also record in-car noise levels. A few caveats. The original heritage means that some components might intentionally retain a bit of analog feel, less over-smoothing to preserve character, so expect not to have it perfectly silent or magically crisp like a luxury sedan. There will be trade-offs between comfort and sportiness. Strengths, weaknesses, and comparisons. Let's break down what works, what might not, and who this revival appeals to. Strengths. Nostalgic flair with modern execution. You get the soul of the old 412 but usable in today's world. Unique design that stands out in a sea of lookalikes. Potential for strong performance in its segment. Simpler mechanical heritage might make maintenance easier in some markets. If planned well, it can bridge retro and modern audiences. Enthusiasts love cars like this. Balancing heritage and modern demands is tricky. If overtuned, you lose comfort. If underwhelmed, you lose excitement. Parts availability, reliability, and service support are crucial. Legacy brands often struggle. Weight creep from safety, emissions, and electronics can hurt performance. Cost. Restomods revivals often come with a premium. Comparisons. Segment context. It rivals niche retro-styled modern cars. Think of vehicles like the new retro mini designs, or even boutique Restomod Porsches Mustangs. It doesn't directly compete with mass-market sedans or high-end performance cars, but rather attracts enthusiasts or collectors. Its value lies in uniqueness and character, not just spec sheets. So, what's the verdict on the 2025 Moskvich 412? This reimagined classic makes a bold statement. It's not just a tribute car, it tries to be relevant today. If the balance of performance, comfort, and style is well executed, it could become a cult favorite. For fans of automotive heritage, this is a dream, the 412 legacy reintroduced with modern sensibilities. For buyers, it's a statement, you're choosing something different, something that turns heads. If Drive Nation ever gets a chance to test this in real life, we'll do full data logging, comparisons, and real-world tests. Until then, I'd rate this car based on what we see at 8.0/10, high for its ambition, with caveats depending on execution. Closing remarks. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this review, hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Would you buy a Moskvich 412 Revival? What specs would you want? Stay tuned for more Drive Nation reviews, and I'll see you next time. Peace.